So, this next story that we're going to talk through, we'll call him Lewis. He's 30 years old, and for the first time in my life, I feel like I'm disappointing everyone around me. I come from a really close family. The kind that expects you home every Sunday. Birthdays, anniversaries, everything. For years, I didn't mind it, but lately it becomes suffocating. I recently started a new job in another city, and I'm actually excited about it, but my parents treat it like I've abandoned them. If I miss one family dinner because of work or because I'm exhausted, I get passive-aggressive comments about forgetting where I came from. My sister keeps bringing up how we used to be closer, even though she barely makes the effort either. The truth is, I finally feel like I'm growing into my own life, but every time I try to pull back a little, the guilt hits me so hard, I end up driving home anyway. I'm tired of feeling torn between the life I want and the life they expect me to live. How do I set boundaries with family without feeling like I'm betraying them or losing them in the process? Like I start off every piece of advice video, you gotta get your foundations correct. Sleep, eat, and train properly so you can tell if the thoughts that you're having are accurate. You aren't being swayed by anything. Because one thing I'd comment on, the little comments that they're making, forgetting where you come from, sometimes that can just be banter. And if you're not in the right state of mind, you could take it wrong. But, however, if it's not banter, you've got to look at your parents, right? You've got to look at their life. You're their boy, and you'll most of the time always be their kid. And put yourself in their shoes. They're almost losing a son. They're losing someone they love, and they're losing someone that means so much to them. You're flying out of the nest. That's got to be tough for parents, for them to realize that life's changing for them. In the same breath, you also want to be moving on and getting out with your life and stepping out the nest and getting on with stuff without having to be cuddled by your parents. And the communication needs to be, just because I'm leaving home doesn't mean I'm leaving you. And set up a schedule and say, listen, I'll be coming back every week, every 2 weeks. Or if you can't set up a schedule, just say, this is my schedule at the moment. I will do my best. I love you just as much as you love me. I want to see you, but I also want to live life, because most of the time they don't know. But by just doing that, and if that doesn't work, you've done your part. Dust it off and say, that's me. That's my side of this situation done. It doesn't matter what they say from then on about how, remember where you came from. Maybe even remember what they've done for you. You've communicated and you're making the best effort you can. Reassure yourself in that department, because to me, it doesn't sound like you're doing anything wrong. This is life. This is parents struggling on growing older, on life almost moving too quickly. And sometimes life does move quickly that we can't almost comprehend, and we have to just grab onto it and hang on as long as we can. But at the end of the day, they're not mind readers. They don't know exactly what's going on in your head. They probably don't even know what you're thinking, what you're doing, what your plan is for life. And it just requires that. There's one thing giving in and going back, and there's another thing picking up the phone and just ringing them. Boundaries are important here. Boundaries are a priority. And you can do both. You can feel guilty about leaving home. If you've grown up with good parents, or you've grown up with parents that you actually love, it is a tough thing leaving home. Don't forget that. There is guilt and there is worry and there's comfort in not leaving. It's the easy option just to stay home for a long time. And same with your siblings. Your sister's obviously communicated to you, talking about how she wants to be closer. What's your response to that? Are you trying your best? Because I know life can get on top of you. You can get too busy in life to see the people you care about. You can almost get too involved in your own life that you forget about other people and you forget to reach out and see how other people are doing. But to me, that's just a sign that maybe they're struggling. Someone else is struggling. If they want to be around you, your presence is a comfort. And right now it seems like a negative because it's overwhelming or it's overbearing and it feels like you can't live your own life, but you have to live your own life. You can't live someone else's life. You can't live your life for someone else. That's not how it works. And other people have to deal with that. Other people have to realize that they have to cope in this world. They have to manage situations and emotions. Life happens. We've got to adapt to it in a tough sort of blunt way. You've got to be saying that as well. You've got to be saying, listen, your parents and your siblings, you're old enough now to cope with life. I'm here. Reassure them that you're there. You're not going anywhere. Think of these people that travel the world. They miss the parents and the parents will miss them. But you've got to live. You've got to do the things you love in life, and you've got to find the things that you love and experience your own life, because there's so many things in this world to be done, to enjoy, to get through, to experience, to be involved in. You can't sit back and let people hold you back. And almost you don't have to blame them. There's no negative in this situation. There's only value. And the value is your parents fucking love you. Your parents are sad to see you go. Your parents also might not agree with what your plan is, but most parents, I bet, don't. But again, as a parent, you've got to let your kid go out into the world and make the mistakes. Most of the time, your parents are right. There's a lot of lessons in life you have to learn by touching the fire, unfortunately, because we don't grasp some concepts. We don't grasp the concept that our parents have lived longer than us. We know that, that's common sense, that is an obvious fact. But we don't actually comprehend what that means when they've lived life for almost double the amount of time we have. And that's what I see. They've lived their life and see what their priorities are. And one of their priorities is leaving. Is going to be in their lives less. And that's okay. Like I said, they're older than you. They'll cope with it. They'll get on with it. Most parents want the kids to leave. But it's all about communicating. It's all about getting off your chest what you need to get off your chest. And listening as well. Don't forget to listen to what your parents are feeling. Your life is your life. Your plan is your plan. You've got to do what you think is right. You've got to make the mistake that you're going to make. And people have to accept that, even though it's tough. You imagine yourself helping someone else out with a mistake you might have made in the past, or with a lesson you've learned. When you've got the answer, but someone else doesn't listen to you, that's frustrating. And it's frustrating to see someone go through that. That might be just what your parents are thinking. They might see the mistake you're making, or they might think what you're doing is a mistake. Who knows what the real answer is for you? At the end of the day, even if the decision that you're making is a mistake, it doesn't matter, because you've got to experience life yourself. And is this something you're involving in the decision, in the emotions, that deep down you're thinking, I feel guilty for leaving, and for the comments that are being made, and for the not being so close to my sister, because it's so great being in that life, that a part of you feels like they're right because it feels so good. You almost don't have an argument against them, because you're like, I love being here, I love seeing my family, I love being around you. And that's key, and that's why you've got to communicate that and tell them. Sometimes you've got to tell the people you love that you love them, because they don't always realize how much you love them. You don't realize it's a norm for you. When it's a norm for you, and you don't say it and you don't show it, people can forget. And maybe that's just a situation. Maybe you just got overbearing parent and only you'll know, but there's no harm in saying how you feel. There's no harm in literally saying this dilemma to them. They'll understand. They'll understand because they love you. Because they care so much for you, they'll understand. And either you're missing something, and this isn't the actual issue inside yourself or even for your parents, but by actually confronting this, you'll learn something. You'll learn some new information of why it's happening. And sometimes you've also just got to be blunt and straight and put your big boy pants on and tell your parents, this is your life. This is what you want to do. You want to make these mistakes, and all I need from you is just to be there to comfort me, to be there when you fall and when you fail, and just to lend an ear for me. Maybe that's something you just need to talk about when it comes to them. Don't think this is such a unique issue solely for you. Don't think you're alone in this. Don't think it's only happening to you. A lot of problems in the world, we can relate to each other. We can share. Maybe speak to your friends. Maybe speak to other people that can say, were your parents like this? How did you deal with this situation? Because there's no better advice than from someone who's been through the same thing or been through similar things. And we all go through problems in life. The more we share, the more we learn, the more we understand each other, and the more we can stress less and be less emotional and understand what's actually happening in our life. Because life's complicated and it can get overwhelming at times. And you cannot know answers to a lot of things that are happening. But just know that at the end of the day, there are worse problems to have as well. There are worse problems to have than your parents loving you too much. You know what I mean? Step back, take a breath and say, it's all right. Also, you love your parents. Most people, I've been in that situation where you're feeling less love for them. And for me, I hated it. And I tried so hard to get out of that and eventually did. So be grateful for the emotions you're feeling towards them and catch it early before you start building resentment for them. But yeah, that's what I have to say to Lewis. Some advice. But at the gym now. So peace.